Hello everybody, Chris the Stryandog coming to you today from Orem, Utah, where I live. I don't usually do videos like this at all on my channel. I don't usually cover video games, but that's actually been one of the things that has been an important thing throughout my life. We are, at the time of this recording, which is Sunday, March 30th, 2025, we are 3 days away from the official video for the Nintendo Switch 2. Now on the Nintendo Switch 2, what we're going to learn about it is we're going to learn what it can do and all this other stuff. I'll see what has changed from the original Switch system. I actually own 3 Switch systems myself. I have the Switch OLED that I usually take with me on the road to go play. My son has our original Switch, and we have a third one that my other son plays every once in a while, but he mostly uses it for YouTube videos. Anyways, in this video today, I wanted to go ahead and take some time and not really actually talk about some of the stuff that I expect to see or anything like that when it comes to Nintendo Switch, but I kind of want to talk about some of the stuff that I actually want to see eventually come to Switch. Not that it's going to be happen or anything like that. I just want to talk about it and just kind of see what happens. You know, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the announcements to come this Wednesday, and we will see what happens. So the very first game that I remember playing when I was a kid was Super Mario Brothers on the original NES. A lot of people probably recognize something like this. This is actually my son's copy. He likes to collect Mario games every once in a while, but the original one, the one that everybody recognizes, originally has the Mario Brothers game and the Duck Hunt game. Not this one, but the Duck Hunt and Mario. I would actually like to see Duck Hunt come and be on a modern system. The Nintendo Switch, the controllers, you can move them around. It's got a little sensor. So why not pretend like it's like a little zap gun? That is what they originally called the gun for the Nintendo system. Why not use that and use that for Duck Hunt? I would actually like to see Duck Hunt make a return on modern systems. Why not have that come out and you can play that? Now the very next thing I would actually like to see on the Nintendo Switch 2, you might recognize something like this, especially with the yellow buttons right here. This is actually the Retro Baller 64. It's kind of like a Bluetooth Nintendo 64 controller, so you play the N64 games on the Nintendo Switch. This is what I use. I mostly use this to play the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. That is actually one of my all-time favorite role-playing games, and I would actually love to see them remake that in 4K if the Nintendo Switch 2 comes in 4K, or at least on like 1080p resolution, 60 FPS. I would love to see that game come out with updated graphics. The game originally came out in 1998. That was one of the very first Zelda games that I remember playing. The very first one I actually ever played was Link's Awakening. They actually recently remade that game for the Nintendo Switch, and it's actually pretty fun. I love it, and it's fun. And I would love for them to come and remake the Ocarina of Time. The storyline for that is just amazing. And actually, this might be a little bit of an embarrassing thing for me to say, or even admit to, but I actually recently beat the game for the very first time ever. And like I said, the game came out in 1998. I beat it for the very first time earlier this year. I want to say, I think it's the very beginning of February. And every single time I would actually play the game, I would always get up to the water temple, and then I would always tell myself I'm going to beat the level and keep on going. But then I would play a little bit of the level and then not play the game for like 2 or 3 months, and then I would actually forget exactly what I did and what I needed to do next. So I'd always restart the game from the beginning. And I actually finally beat the game, and I would actually love for them to remake that game and on Switch 2. And the very, 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 very last thing that I want to see come out on the Nintendo Switch 2 would be a complete HD 2D remake of the classic Super Nintendo game, the game that got me into playing role-playing games, RPGs in the very first place. Back in the Super Nintendo days, my all-time favorite game, Chrono Trigger. Here's some of the gameplay from the game that you've seen on the screen right now. I know it's old Super Nintendo pixelated graphics, but this was the creme de la creme for me when I was a teenager. I loved it. It was so much fun. The first time I played it for like maybe 5 or 10 minutes at my neighbor's house at the time. This is back in, late 90s when I first got introduced to playing this game. And I was basically hooked from it from the very beginning. I could not stop playing this. I would spend hours and hours a day playing this when I did not have to work. And even when during the weekends after I got off of work, I didn't go to prom, I didn't go to homecoming, I didn't do any of that because I had no interest on that. Instead, I wanted to be at home playing this game. Now, I want to say that the fastest I've actually ever beat this game was, I want to say, about 22, 23 hours, and that was close to 100% of the game, but I pretty much got everything done within 22, 23 hours. But I'm actually on the road to beating this game in less than 12 hours right now. I'm actually almost done with the game. This is the game. This is the footage you see on the screen right now is actually gameplay from that same game save file, and I am roughly less than 2 hours or less than 12 hours into the game, and I'm actually 3/4 of the way into the game. So I'll probably end up beating this game in about 13 or 14 hours, which will be the fastest that I had ever actually beaten this game. And now in Chrono Trigger, what it is you play the role of the main character in the game. You play is Chrono, and he's the character who's in the red hair, who has the red hair that you can see on the screen right now. You're living in the year 1000 AD, and you get ready to celebrate the Millennial Fair. The town you live in has been around for over 1,000 years, about 1,000 years. Yes, 1,000 years exactly, actually. And you're going there to the Millennial Fair to celebrate the 1,000th anniversary of the town you live in. Now, when going to visit your friend, along the way, visiting your friend and her new invention, you run into who you will eventually find out to be the princess of the kingdom you live in. And you go to visit your friend's telepod, and the princess's pendant accidentally sends her back in time to the year 600 AD. So when you find that out, you have to go travel back to that year, go save her. Who the people in the year 600 AD find out they think that she is the long lost queen. Turns out she is not the long lost queen. She is the princess from your time period. So you go back and you save her, and then when you go back to your own time, the Chancellor is a descendant of someone who was a bad guy from this year 600 AD, blames you for kidnapping the princess, and does everything in his power to make it to where it is your fault. And now you have to travel across. You end up having to, when you're running away from the Chancellor and the rest of the kingdom, you are trying to escape the Chancellor and his grasp and prevent yourself from going into jail. Well, you're in jail, but you're found not guilty. And even if you're found not guilty, the Chancellor wants to put you to death. Anyways, you escape and you accidentally travel through time again. So basically, what you're trying to do throughout the rest of the game is you're trying to travel through time to 65 million BC, 12,000 BC, and even into the future, about 2300 AD. So you're traveling through time, making new friends, and trying to save the world, change history, and save the world. I love this game. I would love for them to make an HD 2D remake of this game and play it on the Switch too. So other than that, other than what I talked about in today's video, that's what I want to see most out of it. I'm not going to say that it's going to happen. I'm not going to say, I know everything's going to happen. What I want is not going to be the end all tell all. It's not going to be confirmed. None of it is confirmed, what I just talked about today. Those are things that I'd actually like to see in a nutshell on the Switch too. And otherwise, I can't wait to see what the rest of the Switch 2 presentation is going to give us, what the system can actually do, what kind of features are going to be on there. I really hope that they fix the multiplayer of the Nintendo, because the Switch multiplayer stuff, it really stinks in my opinion. So I really hope they fix that up and have some awesome third-party games, first-party games. I want to see it all. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and also don't forget to hit the notification bell to get notified when I post a new video. And also tell me what you think you're going to see. Tell me what you think is going to happen in the Switch 2 presentation, and what would you like to see. Let's start a conversation down below. We got 3 days left at the time of this recording. I'm going to try to post this video the same day. So let's start the conversation going. Let's get the conversation going. Comment down below what you want to see and what you think might happen at the Nintendo Switch 2 presentation on Wednesday. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. We'll talk later.
Hey, everybody watching has to subscribe. Subscribing is cool. Thanks.